Alright, so I was watching an episode of Law and Order the other day. And it was the one with Rip Torn. I don't know if you've seen Law and Order, you'd probably know. It was a criminal intent. And this grandfather, he had two grandkids. He gave them both $1, right? You know, it was kind of a test. You know, and he didn't tell them it was a test. So for one thing, you know, if you don't tell a kid you're testing it, you can't do that. I mean, kids don't have a real moral compass to speak of. They're learning. You know, they don't have a moral compass automatically. I honestly think morals is a learned behavior. But, so basically he, gives him $1, sends him off, go have fun, whatever, spend your money if you want. But anyway, so the kids come back later, and, he says, "Who wants popcorn?" And it's almost as if, like, he knew the other kid was gonna spend the money, but, one of the kids had spent the money. And so the Rip Torn, says, the kid that didn't spend the money will get popcorn. I'll buy him popcorn. Not like to spend the $1 on popcorn. No, I'm going to buy you popcorn. I'm not going to buy him popcorn. Because he already spent his money. That's absolutely fucking horrible. And at the end of the episode, the kids ran in, the two grandkids ran in, and they're both like, "Grandpa," and one of the kid that he favored, he picked up and hugged. He's like, "Oh yes, you're a good kid, I love you." And the other kid, like, he was like waiting for a hug. He just left hanging there, and like the look on his face when the grandpa picks the other kid and walks away is just like shattering. It's like shattering to your fucking heart. It's like kids don't understand. You gotta tell them this shit. I mean, they don't stand. You can't test them, without telling them, like, it's absolutely horrible to show bias over kids. Because kids don't understand. If you treat a kid, if you treat one kid better than the other, then, the kid that you're treating like shit is gonna fucking, think something's wrong with them. Not with the asshole that's, doing it. They'll think that they're the inadequate ones. They'll think they're the ones that, did something wrong, so, I must be a horrible person, and that leads to you being fucked up in the head for the rest of your life with, constant feelings of inadequacy. I just think if you're a grandparent or a parent, you have to treat all your kids equally, or you're a fucking piece of shit. And you don't teach kids morals by fucking, tough love should only be used in extreme situations, like, for example, interventions. Interventions save people's lives. Although I don't believe in interventions, I think sometimes they could be necessary. I don't like the whole concept of interventions. Let's say that, but I do believe that they work, somewhat. But then, what if you intervene with somebody and, they kill themselves? And here's the thing, you can't force somebody into rehab and expect it to work. I mean, I was forced into rehab when I was like 17, 16, I actually, as the story goes, I'll do a video on this later. I had two ex-girlfriends, and they got angry at me because, I led the football team to make fun of them, because they were bitches to me. They dumped me, like, hard, like, I don't want to go into it, but they fucking went to the cops, And, oh no, Chris touched my butt and my boob. Which, by the way, I'd never touch their butt and their boob. Neither of them ever put out. Ever. Ever. You know, they wouldn't even hold my fucking hand, which leads me to, like, think, why the hell did they date me in the first place? And here's the thing, they weren't hot at all, really. I mean, when I was a middle schooler, and I dated them in middle school, and in high school, like, we'd already been broken up, but, you know, I made fun of them, so they got pissed and told the cops that I sexually harassed them, you know? Which is bullshit. I wouldn't fucking do that. Okay, I just wouldn't. I mean, you don't have to take my word for it, but I'm just saying. You know, I mean, you don't even have to believe me. I don't care. I mean, I'm off probation. I completed everything I needed to. I faked my way through rehab. That's the point I'm trying to make. I faked my way through rehab. And, you know, I still use drugs. So, what the fuck is that shit gonna do? Nothing. Really, I just think, you know, showing bias is just, you know, makes you feel like a complete inadequate person. And my grandparents, on my mother's side, they always bias my older sister, who was a redhead. And my grandma was a redhead. She's not anymore, really, but she was a redhead, so she favored my redheaded sister over my brunette sister. Constantly. You know, she took her shopping, bought shit for her all the time. That makes me, like, just sad. You know, I mean, it really does. And, you know, I used to be an asshole to her, too. Really, I mean, she was kind of the kicking post or whatever of me and my older sister. She's younger than me, but older than her. But, you know, recently I've apologized, and, you know, I want to make things right. You know, I'm sick of hate. I'm just fucking sick of it, and I'm sick of feeling horrible because of the bad things I've done in the past. And really making amends for the things you've done really helps, you know? It really does. If you've done horrible things in the past, that's, you know, really the least you can do. And it really will help you. I guarantee that if you make amends and, you know, apologize to somebody and ask for their forgiveness, and especially if you get their forgiveness, it makes you feel exponentially better, you know. All right, later.